Tuesday night Forza Motorsport Spec Racing here live on Twitch TV. Let's get it going. AMS Storm now here on lap number 34 of 34, jumps into the top spot. And here comes Maverick now, going to make a run to the inside on Drex, perhaps missing his mark.
Hello, racing fans. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Xventure here live on Twitch TV, streaming at you at a beautiful, beautiful, pristine 6,000 kilobits per second. I'm Dustin Moore, and we are here for a finale. Yeah, I know. Just as quickly as these seasons seem to start, we shut them down. We go through 5 weeks of racing, 9 races in total, and then that's it. Kapooey, done, gone, over with. And then we go into an off-season period, and we get ready for the next season, which is just around the corner. Let's go ahead and take a look at the standings here as we enter week number 5, the final race of the season. The endurance event 90-lapper out at Long Beach, LS Subaru, is your six-time. Yeah, that is six-time champion. Well, I guess that would be 36 championships then, right? You get the point. Six-time champion, LS Subaru, 300 points. That is the max that you can carry into week number 4, or excuse me, into week number 5. And we will not see LS Subaru out on the racetrack, as he advised during the driver's spotlight at the end of week number 4, would not be participating. However, is looking forward to season number 48. Cratrum at 288, 259 there for Audrex. LS Barney 257. A trio of twos there for Cuda 93. Born as Ghost at 209, 205 there for Slow Motion Fire. Jube at 199, 186 for Chaos Fox, 184 for Patches Riley, rounding out your top 10. And while the championship is not up for grabs here this evening, I assure you there are plenty of drivers here racing tonight who are vying for other positions there on the leaderboard, trying to get a little bit higher up, try to finish the best they possibly can, and to possibly carry in some momentum into season 48, thinking, okay, that was a really good run. Let me see here what I can do next season where the points are scrubbed. Everybody starts at 0, and away we go in a new vehicle, a new assortment of tracks. Speaking of tracks, good segue there. Season 47, the race schedule doesn't really mean much now that we've got 4 weeks in our rear view mirror, proverbially speaking. Oh gosh, we've got all kinds of havoc happening there in the lobby. Week number 5, Long Beach East Route, as I mentioned. Yes, the East Route, so just a portion of Long Beach, not the entire Long Beach circuit. Where have we come from? Well, basically everywhere in the United States, with the only exception being Le Mans, the Bugatti circuit. We've been to Watkins Glen, Road America, Laguna Seca, Homestead, VIR, Sebring, Maple Valley, and like I said, now Long Beach. It's been fun. I'm always a bit sad, you know. I really truly am, because yeah, sure, that means I've got 3 weeks to kind of do whatever it is I want on Tuesdays during the stream, but I can honestly say that some of the best content that is put out on this channel happens when we've got the Forza Spec Racing Series happening. It's going to carry on, folks, for the remainder of the year and on into 2023, when eventually we will have the release of the next Forza Motorsport title. So I am absolutely pumped. I only expect and assume, whether they're wrong assumptions or not, I'm hopeful that as we continue to march toward that Forza Motorsport release date, that a lot of folks are going to be coming back into the community. Folks who have previously raced either here in the FM4 series or perhaps in some of my league races and series that I put on way back when in the early days of Forza Motorsport 7. Folks who are going to come out the woodwork who perhaps they raced elsewhere in the online racing esports community and they want to give FM4 a try. And people who are brand new to the series or perhaps brand new to community-based racing, looking to participate maybe in the new title. So really excited about all the things that we have to look forward to over the next year or so. And certainly if you are interested in participating here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, I highly encourage you not to be apprehensive, not to be shy, not to be bashful, but to go ahead and just dive in. Head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. All the information that will be Season 48 will be posted there. All the information that is Season 47 currently resides there. You can kind of take a look around, introduce yourself, get a feel for how things are run, and understand the format for these seasons. Again, 5 weeks of racing in each season, 2 races per night, with the only exception being week number 5 with that final endurance-style event that we have here this evening. It's going to be a different vehicle, so if C500, which is the performance index here of the Raptor race truck that we're racing in Season 47, if that's not your thing, if the truck is not your thing, don't worry. That all changes up here in about, shorter than 3 weeks' time, because Slow Motion Fire will eventually announce the car, give you the setup, let you start testing, tuning the parts that you can based on what upgrades are available for the vehicle or that come with the vehicle based on the spec that is going to be run there in Season 48. And you too can find yourself racing here. We'll get the camera on you. I'll call out your name. You can have your fans, your friends, your foes, whatever they may be, your family, rooting you on there in the chat. And then in our driver spotlight in between races, when I get a chance to talk to the drivers, hopefully I'll have an opportunity to speak with you. Who do we have here in the chat? We've got Penguin976, first time chatting here. Welcome, Penguin976. Glad to have you. Ghibli Giblets is here. I made it. I'm going to try to make you say in this stream. You didn't do it. Patches Riley was here with the drum roll emote. Soul Motion Fire a little bit earlier on, and certainly a few more folks will filter in and out here throughout the broadcast. There's DWM Frog. If you are new to the broadcast, then don't be shy to say hi, and hopefully we'll get a chance to maybe interact, engage a little bit more in the chat here over the next hour and a half or so is about what these endurance events will go. There's Colossal CC, got a pug going. Nice. A pug and a looks like the Red Wings from the hockey team. Looking at the lobby, we've got 10 drivers in there at the moment, rattling them off. It's Kratrium, Toyosama. Toyosama's back. Good to see Toya back in here, FM4, and hopefully maybe this is a sign of things to come. Toyosama may be a participant there in Season 48. LS Barney, Fear the Fun, Patches Riley, Oddrex, Slow Motion Fire, Colossal CC, Kuda93, Modern Weapon. Like I said, 10 drivers currently in the lobby. And I have to believe we're getting close here to the start of what will not be a qualifying session. They've done away with qualifying in the finale for quite some time now, several seasons, and instead we'll just jump into the action. And the way that they'll be ordered on the grid is in reverse grid order based on the amount of championship points that you have in the series. So the more points you have, the further in the back of the pack you are, the more ground you'll have to make up to get back toward the front. Ghibli Giblet says, before the race, the new Beavis and Butthead movie is probably the best movie in the past half decade. Beavis should win an award. It was a really good character. He really grew as a character. Okay, fair enough. Well, there you go. Ghibli Giblets. Get your Paramount Pluses going and go check out the movie, I guess, based on Ghibli Giblets' input. All right. Interesting take, says Penguin. Yeah, interesting indeed. The best movie in the past half decade. Fair enough. Fair enough. I've got the Raptors shirt on. I had it to start the season. I've got it here to conclude the season. I'm gonna try to find some more shirts here and shirts that are relatable to maybe the content as well. So who knows what season 48 will have in store. Yeah, I you never know. Season 48, by the way, and I'm going to go into this a little bit later on, but season 48 actually marks a pretty big milestone for me here. It'll be the 20th season of the Forza Spec Racing Series that I have commentated. Yeah, sure. From the point at which I started commentating to where we are here today, a few other seasons have scoot on past that I did not commentate, but for the most part, I've got the majority of them, and I'd like to think I got the good ones as well. Those few that I had to forego, they were the unimpressive ones. 20th season here coming up, season 48, a milestone. Gonna try to do whatever I can to make it exciting, to kind of celebrate, and I want you all to be involved. So I'll mention it a little bit later on for everybody else who joins us in the broadcast, but just thought I'd throw that out there here off the top. Let's see. No other drivers have joined us as of yet. They are readying up there in the lobby while not everybody has. So perhaps if you're watching right now and you have raced previously in FM4 here in seasons 47, jump on in, add another driver to the mix. It's going to be pretty chaotic. 1.34 mile Long Beach East route circuit. No, again, not the full track, just that east route, which does include the pit lane. So they will have simulated damage turned on. That means your tires will deplete or degrade in terms of grip. That means your fuel tank will deplete, which shouldn't be an issue at all. The fuel situation, well, actually, no, I take it back. The tire situation, not an issue. The fuel should be the issue that requires the pit stop. And then, of course, any contact that you make either with the environment or with other drivers out there on the track could result in some mechanical damage, if not at least aero damage. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think we've raced, as I think back to the schedule, I don't think we've raced on a track that has such confined spaces. The only other circuit that I could think of that is akin to Long Beach in terms of close quarters would be Rio de Janeiro, and we did not run that one here in season 47. Slow Motion Fire letting me know there in the chat that we are ready to go. I'll go ahead and turn on the audio here in game. That way we can hear the sound of the Ford F-150 Raptor race truck for at least one more season here. Why does that sound really loud on my side? I don't know. Something was weird with my audio. I was trying to be on a little bit earlier. It didn't work out. Here we go, out to the track. Long Beach, it's going to be sunny. No chance of rain here in Forza Motorsport 7 at this facility. And no nighttime racing either, so it will be daytime. And here we go, off the line, Fear the Fun, followed by Modern Weapon, Patches Riley, Slow Motion Fire, Kick the Tires, Light the Fires, ladies and gentlemen, the finale here. Season 47 in the Ford Raptor race truck is underway. Into turn number 2, it's going to be Fear the Fun leading them through. Fear the Fun, yes, indeed, has the lowest amount of points coming into the finale here at 144, at least the lowest amongst the drivers who have opted to participate here in week number 5, race number 9. Down the back straightaway they go, single file formation. Fear the Fun leads the pack as they scream on past the camera, and now into this right-hander, which really starts the complex section here of the Long Beach circuit. You got the right-hander underneath the Firestone Bridge, into the left-hander, past the aquarium off to our right here as we see it, and now into the hairpin, the final corner before you make the charge back toward the start-finish line. And just as you see there with Fear the Fun kicking the back end of the F-150 out underneath the bridge, start of lap number 2 here as they cross the line. Let's go to Patches Riley in 3rd position, leading the mid-pack crew here. Well, actually, that responsibility belonging to Modern Weapon at the moment, followed by Patches Riley, Slow Motion Fire, Ellis Barney in 5th, Kuda in 6th, Drex is 7th, Crate Trim in 8th, Toyosama in 9th position. Colossal CC in 10th. Looking out for that tire barrier into that right-hander. It looks like, oh, we got a car. We got a couple of cars turned around. Let's go back there real quick. Drex happens to be caught up in the mix. 7th position. Side by side by side. Down the backstretch they come. And across the, past the camera here with Cratrium up into 6th position. Toyo-sama and then Drex having to resort to 8th at least for the moment. Kuna 93 behind them. Bears Patches. Riley gets spun around. And Drex actually having to make a pit stop. Perhaps sustained a little bit of damage earlier on in that race and now having to get a little fix from the pit crew. And much too early to be considered a strategic pit stop. That's definitely one that that had to happen, apparently, according to Drex. Hello there. What is that? Slotless? Or Slot IS? Welcome welcome very much. How about that English? Welcome very much to the channel. I understand why people watch NASCAR now, I think, says Pink. Well, this is not quite NASCAR at all. This is a whole different gig we got going on here. Here comes LS Barney, sponsored by none other than ME. And back down the front straightaway toward the start-finish line. Beginning of lap number 4. You got Fear the Fun now here with a sizable lead by about 1 full second here on the pack. Soul Motion Fire up to 3rd position now. Let's go to Cratrium in 6th. Cratrium 2nd overall on the leaderboard with 288 points, trying to hold off Drex, who is 3rd. And that may not be difficult. There is a 29-point difference between Cratrium and Drex, and depending on the drop week rule and how that plays in, Cratrium may very well be secured in P2 by the end of the season. Safe and sound, I should say. Slot Vroom. Cars go fast. They go decently quick here. C500 Performance Index in Forza Motorsport 7. 450 horsepower, 510 foot-pounds of torque, but with a vehicle that weighs 4,093 pounds. Then you start to realize why the performance index is so low. C-Class would be about a little bit less than middle, a little bit less than the median of the Forza Motorsport 7 performance system. Into the right-hander, Cratrium just hanging out there on the back tailgate of Toyo-sama. Now they're going to go side by side here with Cratrium looking to break into the top 5. Yeah, my audio is really loud. I hope it's not too high for you all. You guys let me know if the audio is not balanced properly. I don't know, something weird happened with my setup. There goes Cratrium now through the hairpin. Toyo-sama on the tailgate and Modern Weapon into the wall head first, allowing Cratrium to not just move up to 5th, but up to 4th. Good. I'm glad the audio sounds fine. By the way, anybody who might have been trying to watch week number 4 back on demand, my sincere apologies. Twitch decided not to record it for me. That's a first. That is indeed a first. I've never seen that happen before. My broadcast since have been recorded, but week 4 here, last Tuesday, did not. So now with Cratrium up to 4th, you've got the presumably the Canadian Toyo-sama there with the Canadian flag next to the gamer tag. May not necessarily be true, but I'm going to venture a guess. Into the hairpin. Let's see if Cratrium maybe locks up the back and uses the handbrake. I don't think so. Keeps the tires spinning. Doesn't lock him up at all. Running through the field. Fear the Fun has the lead up there in first. LS Barney in second. Slow Motion Fire in third. Kraitrim in fourth. Toyota Sama in fifth. Modern Weapon in sixth. We've got Colossal CC on the back straightaway, almost a lap down in seventh position. Audrex having a terrible run at this point, currently in eighth. Patches Riley in ninth, and Kuda 93 into pit lane, P10. Let's go back there, where Kraitrim made the move around Toyo Sama, and then subsequently around Modern Weapon. A twofer within about one sector's time. Modern Weapon just going a little bit too wide, perhaps the understeer of the F-150, drawing him out toward that concrete barrier. And as a result, Modern Weapon currently running in sixth, all by himself. Let's go to LS Barney, currently in second position, trying to catch up with our leader. Fear the Fun, and that's not going to do it. Tags the tire wall slightly, then gets into the driver's side of Patches Riley, spins him around. Now here comes Slow Motion Fire, trying to move up to P2. And that's exactly what Slow Motion Fire is going to do. Lines it up here on the outside. Nice looking angle into the right-hander. And then your first left-hander of the circuit is right here. You got a couple of them. And then that's it. And we'll see if LS Barney, did that require... I don't think so. No damage to that vehicle. Looking all the way around. And across the line, Slow Motion Fire now in second. Let's go back to that one on the X-Venture replay. Or not. It will be. I pressed the replay button a little too soon. We'll go ahead and we'll duck out of that. Didn't give enough time for the replay buffer to do its thing. I'm Dustin Moore, and I appreciate you tuning in. The Season 47 finale of the Forza Spec Racing Series. Season 47, I did say, yes, they have done 47 of these dating back to dating back to the Forza Motorsport 4 years. Slow Motion Fire, Fear the Fun, Modern Weapon, kind of the ringleaders these days. But doing a phenomenal job in making sure that these races, when they are scheduled, happen each and every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And while this one has come to a close, or coming to a close at the end of this race, and while we've already crowned our champion, our now six-time champion in 6 straight championships, dating back to season 42, LS Subaru is just dominating. And so I'll put the ask out there again here in between seasons for anybody and everybody to come join and have a go. Either test your skill against the likes of Subaru, or find somebody out here on the track that you race closely with and see how you do over the stretch of 9 races. Reddit.com/r/FM4. Go there. Like I said, introduce yourself. Let them know that you're interested. And before you know it, we'll be out here for Season 48. LS Barney continuing to be out in front of Slow Motion Fire. Slow, who moved up a couple of spots here over the last 5 laps or so. Barney a little bit too far to the inside, is going to grind that concrete barrier. That's going to slow you down real quick. And now here we go. LS Barney, slow motion fire, side by side, up across the line here at Long Beach for the beginning of lap number 12. And not too far behind is Cratrium in fourth. And even Toyo Osama there in fifth. Here comes Barney to the inside line, trying to avoid all those donuts out there, the rubber donuts, the tires. Not that they'll slow you down much, but they can put the car a little off course and make it difficult to hold a line. But yeah, I think most of the tires are out of the way at this point. And now here into the penultimate right-hander at the Long Beach East Circuit. Here comes Barney. Slow motion fire looking to the outside. Barney going to try to avoid that concrete wall this time around. Gets a little contact there from slow motion fire. Helps rotate the F-150 over. And here we go. We got a four-way battle for second. LS Barney leads them out onto that front straightaway, followed by slow motion fire, Cratrium, and Toyo Osama. We're going to have an exciting one here all throughout the race. I promise you that. Don't go anywhere. And if you enjoy the content, please click that follow button. I assure you, you've got lots more fun where this is coming from here on X Venture. They'll have a nice little, you get a indicator there at the bottom, a little pop-up announcing your follow. We'll hear the sound effect. I'll say thank you, and that'll be it. Painless. I won't overdo it, I promise you. Penguin976, by the way, thank you for that follow earlier, and I think you did it when we were not yet into the racing action. So let me run that one back for you so you get the full effect. There you go. After all these years, getting new faces, new Twitch tags in the chat. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Fear the Fun is still our race leader. Let's go ahead and put the camera here. Give Fear a little bit of love with the camera. You know, it's sometimes when you're out front like this, LS Subaru certainly knows, where you've got a commanding lead, then sometimes you just don't get on camera much. Well, there we go. We'll give Fear the 5 seconds of fame. Now, we'll come back. We'll come back to Fear. Here in a few laps, Fear is probably going to have some competition right there behind him as Barney, Cratrium, Toyo Osama, and Slow Motion Fire, who's now dropped from 2nd to 5th, make their way up through the field. Here comes Modern Weapon, or, well, eventually, there we go. Modern Weapon on the opposite end of the track here. Lap number 14 for Modern at the moment. Audrex has got a very long drive here, but if there's anybody who can do it, it is Audrex in the Adidas livery. The F-150 Raptor race truck racing on an island at this point. Colossal CC in 8th, Kuda in 9th, and Patches Riley also not having actually just having a terrible start to this one back there in 10th. But a lot of time, a lot of laps, and quite possibly a lot of pit stops to go here. There should be at least one mandatory stop, and by mandatory I just mean that the fuel tank, your fuel tank is going to be demanding you get in there and refill it. But for those drivers who happen to make a mistake and have to go in additional times, well, that just makes it interesting for everybody else to grab a spot back, perhaps even a full lap. As we now are with Cratrium. Let's ride on board. While they certainly aren't the fastest vehicles that we've raced here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, you can tell that here on these street circuit of Long Beach, with the wall on either side, you still get that sense of speed going. And especially here on the front straightaway, the curved front straightaway, you get a lot of speed going, and then you make the right-hander. Fortunately, I haven't seen anybody go sliding off, locking up the brakes and sliding off into that second corner there. Instead, it's been this right-hander right here with the tire wall on the outside that has just been an absolute pain. And Cuda 93 now a victim, falling back to 10th position. Cuda 93 with the 222 points, 5th overall on the leaderboard. This could end up being the drop week there for Cuda. Not off to a good start. Same could be said for Patches Riley, and there goes Cratrim grinding along the concrete wall, getting that vehicle rotated over. Few scrapes there on the side of the Aperture livery, the Aperture Industries livery. A call to the Portal series. Slot, thank you for the follow. And Slot saying there in the chat, they just keep vrooming. They do. They just go. They go, and they will for 90 laps here today. That 91st you see there in the upper left, just a cool down lap. They won't actually race to the checkered on that lap. Instead, it'll happen on lap 90. And down the back stretch they go here. We've got pretty much all the vehicles gathered up. Whether they're on the lead lap or not, that's where they're at. And Modern Weapon's vehicle in a bad way here. Let's take a look. Significant damage from the steering through the engine, the clutch, the transmission, and the aero. That's going to be a long hobble back to pit lane. Let's go to Toyo-sama in 4th position. Toyo-sama racing for the first time here in week number 5. Well, the first time in season 47. We've seen Toyo-sama in the past. I don't know that we've had Toyo-sama race an entire season. Would love for that to happen, however, because Toyo-sama has proved competitive and is doing so right now in 4th position, back behind Cratrim in 3rd, Ellis Barney in 2nd, and our race leader, Fear the Fun. Let's go to Ellis Barney now, who is approaching Fear the Fun territory. And undoubtedly, a few mistakes made by Fear the Fun has resulted in this battle for first. There goes Barney bashing into the wall once again. Modern Weapon, that slow jaunt back toward the pit lane entry. Can it be a jaunt if it is going so slow? I don't know. It is definitely a slow crawl, not a jaunt. And now here comes Ellis Barney right up onto the back bumper of Fear the Fun's F-150. How about that alliteration? Fear the Fun F-150. Season 47. Peanuts and bubbly drink, says Ghibli Giblets. Peanuts, huh? That's the snack of choice here for today. Fair enough. Ellis Barney going a little bit wide here this time around, maybe looking to see if there is a different approach to that hairpin rather than riding the wall on the inside, and now across the line at the beginning of lap number 21. Slot cheering on Barney. This is what I like to see. I like to see the viewers rooting on their favorite drivers, and even if you don't know any of these drivers, perhaps there's a livery that speaks to you. Maybe it's just their gamer tag. Whatever it is that has you gravitating toward one of our drivers, yeah. Throw your loudest cheer. If you were in the grandstands right now, mind you, amongst other like families, little ones, and all that, what would you be shouting out onto the raceway? There goes Fear the Fun, sliding it out into the penultimate right-hander, allowing LS Barney to make that pass. And now, for the first time in this race, we have a new leader. That's until Fear the Fun said, not so fast. I want that back. And now here they go, wheel to wheel, door to door, rocker panel to rocker panel, almost tailgate to tailgate. Here goes Patches Riley off the lead lap, going to try to sneak on by. But who is on the lead lap? Cratrium is going to make it a three-way battle for first as they come into the second corner here at the East Circuit of Long Beach. And there you go, Fear the Fun, at least for now, is going to take it back into this tricky right-hander. Hopefully nobody ends up into the tire barrier. It seems like everybody's going to stay clean. Toyo Sama back there in fourth, looking to do cleanup. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. I told you guys, even though our champion has already been crowned, do not put it past these drivers to put on a show for us. And maybe even more so, because the battle is for first, whereas LS Subaru would probably be occupying the position handedly. We've now got a good one here with a four-way battle as Toyo Sama now comes into the picture as the front three, the top three, battling it out amongst each other, allowed Toyo Sama to close that gap ever so quickly. And now we'll see what unfolds here as we go back to the X-Venture replay to try to catch what happened there. That allowed LS Subaru, well, and I was too late on the replay trigger that time around, but we get a good look there at the hairpin of Fear the Fun, battling his way, throwing elbows back into the top spot, or at least trying to. We got them side by side. Fear the Fun gonna hunker down there on the apex, jumps the curbing, and now gets a little bit sideways. Perhaps some help there from Barney, and Fear the Fun just nearly missing. Well, no, he didn't nearly miss. He did miss that concrete wall on the inside. It looked like Barney was going to put the jam job on and try to keep Fear from taking that inside line. And now here we go, side by side down the front straightaway. This battle for first is just insane. Here goes Cratrim to the front, and now Fear the Fun out of nowhere, like a bat out of hell, moves back up into first. With LS Barney in second, Cratrim in third, Toyo Sama staying there in fourth. I have to believe that Toyo Sama is doing this on purpose. It's almost like you got to just kind of wait it out and wait for the right opportunity here. Not get too aggressive. Let the front three, go knuckle to knuckle here and wait for somebody to make a serious and grave mistake. There goes Fear the Fun into the wall once again, perhaps with a little bit of help from LS Barney. LS Barney back up into P1. Fear the Fun in second. Gives a little nudge on the tailgate, and Fear the Fun is now going to move back up to the top spot. And while all this is happening, folks, you don't have to look too far behind to find P5, Slow Motion Fire, and I was going to say P6, but Audrex is P6 all the way on the other side of the track. But Audrex, Mr. Consistency here in FM4, I wouldn't put it past him if here in the next 10 laps, Audrex is right there in the thick of it. Slots there in the chat says, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. DWM Frogan, there they go into the tire barrier. LS Barney head first, able to do kind of a J-turn and get back on course. But is there damage there to LS Barney's vehicle? No, there is not. The sponginess of the tires perhaps helping him out, but Toyo Sama moves up to second. Cratrim into first. But, yeah, I mean, where we see things now, it may not last long. This may only be temporary. There you see the whole slew coming through the hairpin. Too much truck. One too many trucks into the hairpin. Slow Motion Fire is going to lead them out in third. LS Barney in fourth. Fear the Fun dropping all the way back from first now to fifth. How exciting this is. Let's see, did I catch anything on the replay this time by? I can only hope. Yeah, you see there, Barney, maybe with the... We couldn't tell from that camera angle, but got up onto the side, the passenger side of Fear the Fun's truck, and may have had a little help from the back to go head first right into the tire wall. And now, Kratrium, Toyosama running 1 and 2, first and second respectively. Soul Motion Fire and LS Barney third and fourth. Fear the Fun all by himself. And let's see, does Fear the Fun have any damage to that vehicle? Most certainly does. Not to the engine, not to the clutch, a little bit to the transmission, but you see there the aero, the front suspension, and the brakes. Fear the Fun opting for pit lane and misses. Fear the Fun misses the pit lane entry, has to get back up to speed, and now the AI takes over. Oh, that's a big deal right there for Fear the Fun. Missing the pit lane entry and easily losing another 4 or 5 seconds while the AI corrects the error and gets the vehicle back under its power towards its pit box. Wow, so much drama here. The 9th race of the 47th season of the Forza Spec Racing Series, and it is a doozy. Here comes Toyosama Kratrium. This is going to be one to watch, of course. They are P1 and 2. But as I mentioned earlier, Toyosama, having not raced here in Season 47, how well is Toyosama familiar with the truck? And will that allow Toyosama to be competitive to try to take down Kratrium, the driver formerly known as C-Tom, and the driver with the most championships? However, LS Subaru is closing in quickly. C-Tom, or Kratrium as we now know him, 10 total championships here in FM4. LS Subaru with 6. All right, I totally botched this, but let's get one going here at this point in the race. Who will win the Season 47 finale? Is it going to be Kratrium? Will it be Toya Sama? Maybe, just maybe, it'll be Barney. Perhaps even Slow Motion Fire. Heck, if you want to be daring with it, Audrex, who's now moved up exceptionally well in 5th, perhaps Audrex would be our winner tonight. And then we'll throw in Fear the Fun. What the heck? Let's put them all in there. Let's put them all in there. Patches Riley, who's currently now up to 7th. Perhaps, well, I think Patches Riley has reclaimed the lap that they were down. Why not throw Kuda 93 in there? Modern weapon. And then our 10th and final driver racing with us here tonight. Let's go Colossal CC. Let's run this one for, I don't know, let's go 20 minutes here. I think we got enough time. Use your channel points. They have absolutely no value to them to wager a guess as to who might win this race. You've got all options on the table. All 10 drivers who are racing are included in the predictor. Channel points to the one you think will win. Giblet Giblets there in the chat says, Kuda, remember when we want to see Luda, wait, hold on. Remember when we went to see Luda in Cuba? You're my boy, you got this. Ghibli is on it. I don't know what any of this means, but Ghibli's got like 5 drivers out there that's sending that he's sending, I think, subliminal messages to. Kratrium, our race leader, is dealing with a little bit of lap traffic at the moment. That's going to be Kuda 93 there in 8th, followed by Toyosama, LS Barney in 3rd, Slow Motion Fire in 4th. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire. Slow Motion Fire with the Stay Puffed livery. It's great. I love it. The drivers, they're committed to the season. They're committed to running their best race. They're committed to entertaining us with their lovely vehicle designs. You know, they say some stickers provide a horsepower boost, but you have to believe the Stay Puffed livery works in the opposite direction. I must be a dork. How do I vote? I'm on mobile. You should have something at the top of your chat that says predict with channel points and then a purple predict button. If not, you may have to click, there may be an option to click at the bottom of your chat to reveal the predictor. I know some mobile devices may not be, some mobile devices may not be able to display the predictor, but give it a shot. Slow Motion Fire, gonna look to try to get around 9th position, that being Modern Weapon. Slow Motion Fire don't want to lose sight of LS Barney here. Lap number 31, well actually 32, and now the start of lap 33. Yeah, Slow Motion Fire's got to get around quick. Losing ground. Ghibli, I'm going to desktop to vote. Go Kuda. There you go. Like I said, Kuda 93 in 8th position right now, but a lot of race remaining. Lots and lots of race, and Kuda, who entered week number 5 here tonight, 222 points, 5th overall on the leaderboard, shows that they've got the ability. They've got the talent. A few missteps by the leaders, maybe an extra pit stop here and there. It changed the dynamic of this race very, very quickly. Let's go to LS Barney in 3rd. Right now, 10% of the vote on LS Barney, 90% of the vote on Audrex. And for those of you who are joining us here on Twitch live, or perhaps you're watching this on demand, appreciate you being here. If it is your first time, well, welcome to a finale here in the Forza Spec Racing Series being raced on Forza Motorsport 7. Some of the drivers on Xbox, which could include the Xbox One, the Xbox Series S, Series X, or even PC. Lots of options to participate and race here in the Forza Spec Racing Series. And the beauty of PC, too, is that if you're not an Xbox Live subscriber, well, guess what? It doesn't matter. You still have the online functionality of Xbox Live when you play via PC. So definitely encourage you, head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. Nightbot there in the chat has the link for you. And no matter what platform you race on, no matter which peripheral you prefer, a racing wheel or a controller, you are welcome to run. The only prerequisite, the only thing that is required of you in the FM4 series is to race clean. That's it. That's all they ask. Simple. Off the wall goes Kuda, or nearly off the wall, as LS Barney dealing with their own bit of lap traffic here on lap 35. Running through the field, Craytrim, who is second overall on the leaderboard behind LS Subaru, and unfortunately not going to be able to have a go at the championship. Currently our leader, and looks to be second at the end of second best on that leaderboard when it's all said and done here in the 9th race of the season. Followed by Toyo Sama, first race here in season 47, doing one heck of a job, keeping pace with Craytrim at the moment. LS Barney in third, Slow Motion Fire in fourth. Drex is fifth. Fear the Fun, who was our race leader at the start of things here tonight, back to sixth position. Patches Riley in seventh, Kuda 93 in eighth, Modern Weapon in ninth, and Colossal CC in 10th. Barney's livery makes me want to eat the truck. Looks delicious. Barney's? This one right here? The one that says sponsored by me? Not the Stay Puffed livery, but the green, purple, and pink? That looks delicious. Fair enough. I mean, it could be like a... what are those... like an Airhead. Like a multi-flavored Airhead. Oh gosh, I could down a whole package of Airheads in quick order. All right, hit us up, folks, in the chat. Favorite candy, go. Favorite candy. It's the finale. We've got a lot of racing here tonight, but let's take a moment. Let's see what everybody thinks in terms of favorite candy. When I say candy, let's not talk about candy bars. Let's exclude bars from the conversation right now. And let's just go candy. Looks like a refreshing, crisp Mountain Dew drink. Fresh as a mountain stream. Do the do. I'm convinced that at some point, one of these days, one of these years, that the more we just talk about brands, at some point may actually get a sponsor of the channel. Maybe. One day, 1 year. You guys just keep throwing brands out there, and maybe one of their marketers or one of their business people will be just happenstance that they're here watching the race, and they'll be like, you know what? Sponsorship. Boom. M&M's. Okay. M&M's going very, very classical on that one. Like I feel like M&M's is a very safe choice, and a respectable one at that. I love M&M's. M&M's are very versatile too. You can put M&M's in a lot of different things to really enhance your snacking. Ice cream, popcorn. That's two. No, not so Penguin. Like, and here's the thing too. Like, I'm always looking for ways to make the experience enjoyable for the viewer, and certainly I don't want it to be a shill fest. But really, any sponsors, like, you know what, I'm willing, like, the cause that you support and like supporting up and coming virtual racers, esporters, or just people who genuinely love to get in and do some racing online. I can support that, and boom, here's a little bit to just throw our banner up somewhere or whatever. That would be the extent of it. Wouldn't go all crazy. M&M's or Starburst, says Penguin. Ooh, see, the Starburst one is tricky for me. Let's go to Toyo-sama in second. The Starburst one is a tricky one for me because there are some good flavors, and then there are some not so great flavors in Starburst. And because of that, the greatness of one element of a Starburst and the lack of greatness in the other aspect of a Starburst brings down the overall rating for me. As Colossal CC doing a great job, by the way. You don't have to, like, just fling your vehicle off the track to get away from the oncoming traffic, but Colossal CC doing an awesome job there in a very tricky corner, getting on the brakes, slowing it down, and allowing Toyo-sama, our second place driver, and unfortunately there for Colossal, was doing such a great job, but then went head first into the next right-hander. But yeah, giving Toyo-sama the clearance needed to scoot on past without incident. That's all that they're looking for. Let's go to Slow Motion Fire here in 4th position. What else do we have here? A lot of M&Ms, by the way. Penguin, slots. Then we got DWM Frog saying the Aussie licorice, the soft style licorice there. I like it. Ghibli says, I love it when sour Skittles tear up my tongue after eating 3 family-sized bags. I know. A sour candy would rank high on my list. However, sometimes the repercussions of having too many, of enjoying them too much, then make them not worth it. Sour Skittles are a big offender because I swear the little sour particles that go onto the Skittles are like rock salt size. They're ginormous, and so as soon as those hits your tongue or your gums or the roof of your mouth, it incapacitates you. Damn near. Same can be said for like Sour Patch Kids. Like if you find the huge mega size of Sour Patch Kids, oh, it could be too much. Penguin says 3 bags of Skittles M&Ms serves you right. I will. I'll see, Ghibli, you're going into bar territory, and I said we're not doing bars. I will forever love Snickers. I remember eating a Snickers when I was 13 years old. Snickers are good. I wasn't a big fan at first because I never really cared for the crunchy peanuts in any sort of candy or crunchy peanut butter, but I came around to enjoying the crunch of the Snickers for sure. But again, you're in bar territory. We're talking candy, just straight up candy. Great trim out front. Toyosama trying to keep pace there, and they do have a lap traffic vehicle in between them. That's going to be P7 of Patches Riley. And so Toyosama's got their work cut out for them to get around the lap traffic and then keep tabs of Craytrim. Let's go to LS Barney again. Oh, and does it! This has got to be at least the second or the third time, and that one seems to be unprovoked. That was all alone from what I could tell. LS Barney doing their best crash dummy impression, just being like, "Oh, let's see, let's test the crash worthiness, the protection here of the F-150." Going wide here through the corner, the hairpin, and no damage. Again, that tire wall being very forgiving. What was not forgiving, though, was the change of position here. The Slow Motion Fire breaks back up into the top 3. Slow Motion Fire we saw back there in 5th a few laps back, but now has returned to P3. Let's go to that replay, and as much as Barney would not like us to relish the sight of the F-150 going head first in, here you go. We shall see it. Oh, wait. Did I not press the button? I did press the button. Just in time, too. Boom, and that's what allowed Slow Motion Fire to scoot on past. Who allowed a baby to have a Snickers? At 13? Oh, 13 days old. I read it wrong. I read it as 13 years old. 13... You don't remember that, Ghibli. Cut it out. Chocolate-covered coffee beans, especially washing them down with a tall glass of milk straight from a Virginia cow. Very, very and oddly specific, but the judges will allow it. Because it's not a bar. Because it is not a bar, I'm going to say Reese's. It's not a bar. If Reese's were if Reese's were excluded, I don't know. Milk Duds would be pretty high up there. It's a circle bar? No. Nobody says, hey, would you like a candy bar? And nobody goes, yeah, get me a, not a Snickers, a Reese's. Nobody would say that. You would correct them first. You would say, nah, not a candy bar, but I will take a Reese's. That's a very big assumption, because I'm sure plenty of people respond just flat out, get me a Reese's. Penguin saying, Barney, I will commit nefarious deeds if you crash again. Not looking so great off of that right-hander there. Got up onto the wall a little bit, but has reclaimed P3 from slow motion fire. Let's go take a look at our race leader, Cratrim, here and see the fuel and tire situation. 20% all around, all four corners, nearly. About on average there. 20%. That's going to have zero impact, I think, on the grip at this point. Really, it's got to get higher up for them to start feeling the loss of traction. 32%, however, in the fuel tank. So, again, the fuel will require the pit stop, not the tires. In this 90-lap race out here at Long Beach, the E-Circuit, the finale here for season 47. We'll take a 3-week break or somewhere thereabouts. That's usually what Slow Motion Fire and Company issue, a 3-week break, and then season 48. Again, my 20th season commentating for the Forza Spec Racing Series. It's going to be a good one. 20th season. I'm going to try to do some cool stuff for you all, the viewers, to celebrate your viewership and of course all the time that we've spent together here on Tuesdays. Even for those of you who are new, that's fine. Some point here in August, mid to late August, is when that'll get kicked off. Cratrim now down the back straightaway. Toyosama still has not been able to get around Patches Riley. This has really held up Toyosama and is making it difficult. The challenge for first position as we have elapsed the halfway point here in this one. LS Barney in third, Slow Motion Fire in fourth. Audrex. While it seems like Audrex is back there a ways, and he is, may actually be in very good position right now. Although, looks like Audrex is going to share the same pit strategy as our race leader. Audrex is pretty much in the open. Sure, there are a few blips there of back markers that stand between him and Slow Motion Fire in fourth, but that may not take a whole lot of effort to gain that ground. That for Audrex is doable and actually moves up to fourth now at this point. Oh, I take that back. For some reason, we had a glitch there on the timing. Audrex most certainly running in fifth. Slow Motion Fire in fourth. Here on the opposite side, exchanging position with LS Barney every once in a while. Sorry about that. Had a little request from the kiddo. Took care of that. Toyosama has now found a way around Patches Riley. And you see Cratrim there in the background, the beginning of lap number 51. 51. Let's see if Toyosama pushes it here over the course of the next 5 to 10 laps, or is going to be content with where they're at right now, and then following the pit stop, maybe then try to make a hard push. Tire conservation, not a thing here. Although I'm quite excited for what might be possible with the next Forza Motorsport title. Multiple compounds that can be switched out during the race, the span of a race. I'm hoping that is something that organizers, leagues, and all that can set per race, so maybe the compound doesn't change. Particularly in a series like this here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, where you're trying to put all the vehicles on a very level playing field. But it will be exciting to see how strategy comes into play with the next Forza Motorsport title. Even if it's not tires, I do believe they mentioned that fuel can be set accordingly. I hope I'm not misspeaking there. But that would be nice to have a little bit of strategy with regards to the fuel. Certainly if that has an impact on your vehicle weight, and as a result, then the vehicle speed. Comes Toyosama doing a little dancing here in the F-150, getting up onto the wall there with the rear left quarter panel, the not a step side, but the side of the bed. No harm, no foul. Just a little paint scrubbing off. LS Barney in third with slow motion fire back there. This battle for third continues on, and as a result, in addition to dealing with lap traffic here as slow motion fire is just pushing Fear the Fun down the front straightaway, the addition of the lap traffic too is really bringing Barney and slow motion fire well back from our race leaders. Penguin says, having only watched a few of these races, one of them being a night race, this game is surprisingly really pretty. Yeah, no, I don't think I think Turn 10 has always been commended for great graphics, good visuals. The benefit too here with me broadcasting on PC is that I'm actually watching the race in 4K resolution, and while I can't output on Twitch in 4K, certainly the scaled down resolution from 4K to 1080p is still really good. And so that hopefully is making for a great viewing experience for you all. Certainly curious to see how it all looks with the new Forza Motorsport title. Should be just as polished. And hopefully we get some better broadcasting options with that title, both in terms of camera views, but then also overlays, information, stuff that I'm able to pass along to you all as the viewers here. We go back up to Toyosama, and look at that. Rotates the F-150, almost over-rotates. Maybe using the handbrake there a little bit. Long Beach introduced in, gosh, what was it? Forza Motorsport 5? Did it come along with Rio de Janeiro when Forza Motorsport 5 entered a new generation of Xbox? I don't remember if it was 5 or 6. One of the newer tracks for the title. Not the newest. Not at all. let's see here. Looking for our best battle out on the track right now, and really it's Toyosama. If they can catch up here with Kratrium, that's our best bet to see some bumper-to-bumper, wheel-to-wheel racing here. Slow Motion Fire dropping off the pace here with LS Barney. They do have the 2 back markers of Fear the Fun in 6th. Patches Riley, well, no, that's not Patches. That is Kuda 93 in 8th. And those 2 drivers, very good. They just happen to have a bad race going for them. And so Slow Motion Fire is just kind of stuck behind. Not able to find a clean pass. And on a track like this, you can't find a pass, then very quickly you find yourself falling behind your closest competitor. Penguin, racing games are just a genre that I have no background in other than Mario Kart, so I didn't know how pretty they look in the current year. Racing games, I mean, especially when you're getting them from a AAA studio and a first-party studio like Polyphony Digital is to Sony with the Gran Turismo franchise, and then Turn-10 Studios here, a part of the Xbox Studios portfolio, which of course is all part of Microsoft. Yeah, you get some really good flashy graphics, and then you got your third party with Codemasters and EA, which they've got some decently good looking titles, but I think really Forza and Gran Turismo are kind of the top tier when it comes to a lot of things. Graphics, vehicle variety, track variety, sound. Two franchises having a lot to offer, and now that we've had Forza Motorsport 7 for, 5 years now, it just boggles my mind every time I say that. It's really given Turn 10 a lot of time, as we see Kratrium and Toyosama first and second respectively going into pit lane for fresh tires, but more importantly, a full tank of fuel. Slow Motion Fire now coming up to, well, actually it's going to be LS Barney first, who's in P3. Going to go out and get around our leaders for P1. We saw Barney up there earlier. It did not last all that long. Fought Fear the Fun for that, and actually kind of some lefts and rights left both Barney and Fear the Fun bruised, which is the reason that Fear the Fun is a lap down in this race at this point. Fear the Fun kind of self-imposed a couple of face plants into the tire wall there on that right-hander that Barney just came through. But at least for now, will occupy the top spot. Kratrium out of pit lane, drops back only one spot to P2. Toyosama to P3. Slow Motion Fire opted for a pit stop and comes out P4 just as he entered. Audrex also into pit lane, P5. We'll see if Fear the Fun has to go in, although I'm guessing not. As we take a look at the fuel situation, actually, Fear the Fun, although Fear the Fun had to go into pit lane earlier because of severe damage to the vehicle, approaching lap 60 with 55 left in the fuel tank, this is going to be really, really close. Can Fear the Fun get back onto the lead lap and vie for a top 5 finish? We shall see. Toyosama back into pit lane? No, not. That's just another timing glitch. Toyosama most definitely P2. Kratrium back up to first with Barney having made a stop. And now Barney with the power of the AI up until now, and that's where the handover happens. Oh gosh. Yeah, exited pit lane just as Audrex was making the right-hander there at turn number 2. And clipped the wall a little bit, did Barney. That should not have resulted in any damage, but there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about. Audrex was seemingly so far behind, but now already up to third position. Let's take a look at the Let's take a look. Yeah, so the only thing that's working against Audrex at the moment is the fact that he is down to 20% in the fuel tank. So we'll have to make a second stop in this race to be able to go the distance, and not opting to do so here at the end of lap 59, beginning of lap 60. I will forever love Codemasters Dirt 2 and Dirt 3. They looked fantastic on the 360 and even hold up by today's graphics. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. What was that on Friday there, Ghibli? And yeah, I think you can pick those titles up on PC. And so, especially when you push their graphics to the limits that maybe they weren't able to achieve on console, they hold up real well. Dirt 4 and Dirt Rally look awesome as well. Not sure about the Codemaster games, though. And now Codemaster's a part of EA. Right? Yes. I think so. Pretty sure so. Audrex getting around LS Barney there. Let's see. Will Audrex opt for a pit stop here and try to get away from traffic? That's going to be another problem for Audrex. Even though Modern Weapon is not on the lead lap, you still got cars surrounding you and a few behind you too that may catch up. But Audrex opting to stay out there. Let's go to Toyo-sama, who has closed that gap with Kratrium for first. As you can see, both of them there. Kratrium in the foreground, Toyo-sama mid-ground, I guess, if not background. This whole new gaming culture to me is extremely fascinating, and it's nifty, says Penguin. Oh, really? So you don't have the gaming background, and yet you found us here on Twitch. I love it. By the way, our predictor has closed up, and, well, we do have 10% of the vote on Barney, 90% on Audrex. Somebody went ham on the thought that Audrex is going to win this race, and right now at this point, I won't say that you're wrong. Audrex has made leaps and bounds of progress here over the last 10, 20 laps. And then a few points there toward CUDA93. I think those coming from Ghibli. And you can vote in greater increments. Well, you can't now because the predictor has closed. But for those of you who may be new to the predictor, you can go in greater increments. 10 is the minimum. Audrex scrubs the wall. Same could be said there for Barney. And so now we've got a great little battle here for third. Soul Motion Fire a little bit further back. But don't put him out of the realm of possibility of catching up. And Fear the Fun, I am not sure if Fear the Fun is on the lead lap. I'm going to have to take a... Well, we just lost that bit of info there. Scrolling above. Fear the Fun is back on the lead lap. Well done by Fear the Fun to make that much of an effort and to reclaim position. Reclaim that lap. Penguin says, well, no, I meant specifically racing games. I come from a background of watching and playing fighting games and playing RPGs, and the racing scene is very different but similar at the same time, at least to fighting games. Very cool. I love that. The origin story of Penguin here. Side by side, LS Barney is going to move up to P3, at least for now. Audrex on the outside. There are some similarities, Penguin. I would agree to that. Unfortunately, the racing side of the directory here on Twitch and really anywhere is maybe a little bit too niche for some people, I suppose, and so it doesn't necessarily get the love that I think it deserves. Albeit there are some bigger personalities. There goes Ellis Barney, I don't know if that one was, I don't know if there was somebody who contributed to that, but Ellis Barney, for the umpteenth time, finding themselves headfirst into the tire wall, able to kind of bounce back out and very quickly proceed in the correct direction, but losing P3, which Barney just was able to redeem there not too long ago, gives it back away. Oh, by the way, that's Adidas on Audrex's livery. I just noticed that. Not Adidas, but Adidas. I was going to say, oh yeah, there are some personalities, some other broadcasters that certainly generate a greater following, but you know what? It doesn't matter to me. I do this for fun. I'm enjoying it. For 20 seasons now, coming up here in season 48 of the Forza Spec Racing Series, have I been commentating, and every single one of them has been a joy and all the fun that I could possibly ask for, and I know it's only going to go up from here. As the new Forza title gets closer and closer, people will be coming back. They will be looking for those community leagues to try to rekindle that competitive spirit that they had and get familiar with the Forza physics, although it probably is going to be changing here, as Chris Sasaki has alluded to in the Forza Monthly broadcast. Although the physics will be changing slightly, they're going to be very reminiscent of what we've got here. And so to see the participation level go back up here in FM4 is, I don't think, all that far-fetched. Not at all. There was a time here, early in my broadcasting of FM4, where we had full lobbies. So just to kind of give you an idea of how exciting it can get out here on the racetrack. We've got 10 tonight, but very easily here in the next 2 to 3 months, at least in my mind, we might be back up to full lobby territory. I mean, we've had races here in season 47 of 15 drivers or so, and to think that we could add another 7 drivers to that is pretty feasible. Across the line, here comes Barney, back up to P3. Audrex falling back now after having taken the pit stop. There you see it, 99% in the tank, and so now Audrex is on that huge push. One of the most consistent drivers, with the exception of Kracham. Kracham is probably the most consistent out on the track right now here today. Audrex a very close second. Don't be surprised if we're calling out Audrex's name here in a battle for the top 3 with a few laps remaining. Another driver into the wall on the back straightaway. Let's go to 4th position. That is Slow Motion Fire with Fear the Fun. Look at Fear the Fun. This is really remarkable that Fear the Fun not only has reclaimed a lap, but is now vying for 4th position, looking to the outside of Slow Motion Fire here at the hairpin. And it's going to do the old switcheroo. Can he use that momentum to propel him forward and past Slow Motion Fire? Down the front straightaway here at the end of lap number 67. And Fear the Fun's going to line those front tires up onto the backside there of Slow Motion Fires as they come up to turn number 2. And just like that, well, he runs wide, nearly makes contact with the wall. And now they're going into this tricky right-hander with Slow Motion Fire on the low line. That's where you want to be. And so for now, Slow Motion Fire is able to get back up to P4, but Fear the Fun's going to be challenging again very soon. My time watching racing streams, I agree it deserves more love. I'd argue that there are a few benefits of having a smaller community, or that there are a few benefits of having a smaller community. It feels a lot more welcoming than any fighting game community I've really seen. True. It's crazy that mapping controls is a feature now and not just given in a console games. I know it's been like that for a really long time, basically forever, but you think control customization would be a normal thing on console now. Yeah, I suppose there might be some reasons that developers lock that down, but I believe here in Forza Motorsport 7, it's been a long time since I've played myself. I've basically done everything in FM7 that I wanted to do, and thus the reason I'm behind the microphone now. But I do believe that flexibility exists with Forza Motorsport 7 to map your controller. Xbox Studios games have become probably the most accessible games on the market. And by accessible, I'm not just meaning, oh, I want to make my clutch this, so let me change it from that. But even for those who find that there's some sort of physical limitation in their ability to press certain buttons, to do certain things with joysticks, and what have you, Xbox has gone great lengths to try to make their games accessible, inclusive, regardless of your any physical impediments that you may have. And so while we think, okay, well, mapping for controls on a racing game, that's great. When we talk about the spirit of competition, the fact that no matter your skill level and no matter your style and no matter what you must do to your controls to compete, you can pretty much do that. The options are there. And the Forza Spec Racing Series definitely welcomes drivers. We've got a diversity not only in skill level, but of drivers who will share with you quite possibly what their own personal challenges are and how they're overcoming those, thanks to the options given to them within the game. So, man, if you really feel like, you know, I'm just tired of racing the AI, I'm tired of just getting win after win in single player mode, I'm looking for a little challenge. I'm looking for a little bit of that authentic racing experience that has me pushing myself to the limits and trying new things with driving styles that I wouldn't have otherwise done by just battling the AI. Well, here you go, folks. It's a beer league like none other. It's one of the longest running community-based leagues here in the Forza community. And I will argue, quite possibly one of the most accommodating, welcoming, and best run and competitive leagues that you will find for any racing title on any platform anywhere. The fact that they've been doing this for 47 seasons, I think, is a testament to that. Reddit.com/r/FN4. The link is there in the chat. And of course, if you've got any questions whatsoever about how things are run here, how you could participate, what are some of the things that you've got to think about if you do get involved in FM4, drop it in the chat. Let me know. We're in our final race here of the season, and the champion has already been crowned with LS Subaru, who's not competing tonight. We've got drivers out here who are most certainly trying to get themselves a little bit higher up on the leaderboard when everything is all said and done here in Season 47. But I've got plenty of time. I've got oodles of time to take your questions, your thoughts, your recommendations, your inputs, your feedback on either the racing, this broadcast. Heck, if you want to talk about Forza Motorsport and what you think we should see there, and just kind of throw those comments out there, you just never know. Every once in a while, we get a Turn 10 employee here who is watching, hanging out, and perhaps maybe they'll take a note. Certainly, no guarantee that anything ever makes it into a final product, but if there's something that you've got that is just like, hey, this is what would make the game better for me, and I think probably a lot of people, put it out there. And even if it floats out into the ether of the internet, so be it. After what I've seen, I think the only community that I've seen be more collaborative and welcoming is the speedrunning community. Yeah, the speedrunning has got that's something that I can't wrap my head around, because I play games very methodically. But I can appreciate just the work, the effort, and then the camaraderie that exists in the speedrunning world. And racing is kind of similar, right? Like you're trying to find a way to post the quickest lap time to finish the highest amongst other drivers, and so there are some similarities there. Maybe not the same quote unquote speed running that you are alluding to, but that competitive drive to find tenths, hundredths, thousandths of a second, it exists here in racing for sure. It just manifests in a different form than what you see in the speedrunners when they're playing platformers or RPGs or shooters. Instead, we're doing it on four wheels here. Here comes LS Barney in third. Kuda heard a lot of tire squealing there out of Kuda's car. Our race leader, Kratrium, second overall on the leaderboard, and really looking to firm up another P2 finish here. Trying everything possible from season to season to take down LS Subaru, who's just performed at a level of no other driver we've seen here in FM4, no other driver I've seen anywhere else, even in Tora, the Online Racing Association. Any of the races that I hosted back in the day, we've seen a wealth of drivers who have done exceedingly well, but not to this degree. Six straight championships, LS Subaru. It is crazy. It is crazy to think of. Let's go to Fear the Fun, who's a little bit out of the picture here when I had the camera on LS Barney, but Fear the Fun now getting around Slow Motion Fire. These two have been going back and forth here a couple of laps, but now it looks like Fear the Fun may very well have snagged it for good, and now is on a hurry-up offense to catch up with LS Barney there in third, Toyosama in second, Kratrium in first. And then if we go the opposite direction here with the current standings, it's Slow Motion Fire in fifth, Audrex in sixth, Patches Riley in seventh, Modern Weapon in eighth. I think our lead lap drivers cut off with Audrex. I believe Audrex is the last of the drivers on the lead lap. And more is a loose term since it really isn't quantifiable, more like equally as welcoming. The skill and endurance required to do this for so long is amazing. Oh yeah, and you know, this is the longest. The ninth race of a Forza Spec Racing Series is always the longest of the season. But no, by no stretch of the imagination is it the longest race that you could compete in a community-based league. The Online Racing Association has 24-hour races, which I've commentated 24 hours straight. That was a challenge just for me alone. And the drivers, they split the time with co-drivers and really have some special performances there. The Online Racing Association having done that for so many years. For anybody who's interested in true to life endurance racing, check out gosh, I'm trying to remember their website now because I do believe they may have changed their web address. Tora.com or ToraRacing.com. How does that work at all, says Penguin? Well, they have co-drivers, so they swap out. They don't do, not one driver runs the entire thing straight through. That would be a true test of endurance for sure. But then I feel like to an extent it would just be a contributor to bad racing. So they do handoffs. They have stints that they each run, which is another thing that I'm very curious to see how that works in Forza Motorsport. If Turn 10 has found a way to introduce endurance racing that is not limited by connections, because so often it is internet connections that destroy a good endurance race. There goes Modern Weapon into the wall. Toyosama collects him. Oh no, Toyosama as a result. I say Toyosama collects him. That was actually Modern, well, who was that again? Was that Modern Weapon? Getting turned around there. Yes, Modern Weapon in 8th position collected Toyosama, and Toyosama couldn't have happened at a worse time with just about 10 laps remaining here. Coming up to the 11 lap remaining mark. 68% fuel, but 100% damage to the aero, the front left brake, and the front left suspension. And Toyosama maybe deciding to just stick it out and not go in. It's going to be a very challenging 11 laps here for Toyosama. Our battles have broken up here a little bit, and unfortunately with Toyosama's wreck there, it's going to make it hard for there to be a battle for first. Not impossible, but difficult. LS Barney in 3rd, Soul Motion Fire in 4th. Fear the Fun has now fallen back to 5th. Fear the Fun, I don't say this to poke fun at him, but Fear the Fun really, one of the drivers who's got the skill to be fast and to be up front, but tends to be very inconsistent. And is showing exactly that here. Unable to break into the top 3 after starting out the race in first. A wild card. Yes, very much a wild card for sure. Fear the Fun, that would be an accurate way to describe Fear the Fun. One day you may see him up in the top 3 stealing some points from somebody, earning some points, taking points off the table for somebody. But then another race, could be up there, and then just as quickly as you blink, boom, at the back of the pack. Fortunately for Fear the Fun, back of the pack is not the story at the moment, but definitely making it difficult for him to have a shot at the top 3 here with 10 laps remaining. And actually now here as Toyosama comes up toward the start-finish line, make that 9. Sometimes this happens, folks, where we've got a quieter showing out on the track, a quieter showing here in the grandstands, the pit lane as I call it, the chat here on Twitch. Well, that's okay. The finales, if there's no championship up for grabs, and sometimes it kind of takes the air out of things, but so thrilled to be bringing you the conclusion of this season, which has been a really good one. Again, this coming off the heels of a limousine season in season 46, and now the Ford F-150 Raptor race truck, which is definitely a vehicle that you see racing in the real world, but not usually on asphalt concrete tracks like this. The only exception really being Long Beach, where they do host the trophy truck races year to year. But either way, it's been a successful season. I chalk it up as one of the more memorable ones because there was a point at which LS Subaru's championship run was in jeopardy thanks to Cratrium's performance back in week 3. But the beauty of a season concluding is that means that we get a little bit of a break, and then we start it all again, and that excitement flares back up with everybody starting out at 0 points. The possibilities are numerous. And with a new car, a new schedule of tracks, everything kind of becomes new again. And so I'll look to the start of season 48 here on Xventure to be a good one. And with that, I definitely encourage you all to put it on your calendar as soon as the start of Season 48 is announced, week number 1. Try to find your way back here to the channel, and I promise you, we're going to have a good time. Being that it is my 20th season, I'm going to try to find a way to do something special for that season, and certainly you all can make it special for me by just being here. The very most I ask of the viewers is to click that follow button. And for those of you who go above and beyond, well, with the subscription, well, you are the ones that make it possible for me to do kind of special things from time to time here on the channel. And I look forward to getting back to that here in the coming months as we are in the lead up to the next Forza Motorsport title. I trust that big things are on the way here for us. You all as viewers, the drivers, me as the broadcaster, we're going to be in good, healthy company here in no time. I believe it. Yeah, it's a little spread out here toward the end, which we've seen this here in the finales. Things get thinned out on these really long races. It happens. But it was exciting to start. No doubt. And Toyosama definitely making it exciting here. At least for them on the thumbsticks, because driving with 100% damage on the front left brake and suspension, that's going to be no easy feat. It's doable, clearly. But that means every corner that you go into with a little bit of braking applied, you're losing a little bit on the left side, and you have a lot more on the right side. So your vehicle tends to pull one direction, and then certainly with suspension, if that's blown out on one side, then that can make the tendency of the vehicle to roll a bit more unpredictable. Penguin says, "I believe." Good, good. Yeah, I mean, we've been in a really, we've had some really, really memorable broadcasts, at least for me here on the channel, with exceptional, an exceptionally high audience here in the chat and all that. So this is but just a kind of a little a breather, if you will, a chance for us to kind of revel in the smallness of the community. But then I think at some point here we're going to be standing room only as we watch Toyosama's Fear the Fun is now dropped back off the lead lap here. Not how Fear the Fun wants to end this race, but it happens. They're going to go side by side into this corner. This is a tricky one. Toyosama maybe a little hesitant, too, to get Fear the Fun there on the side, the passenger side, because of the current mechanical situation, the damage Toyo has sustained to the vehicle at this point. And of course, it was a corner there about 10 laps ago with Modern Weapon collecting Toyosama that has resulted in the hardships he's facing at the moment. Slow Motion Fire is closing in on LS Barney here for third, so let's go there as we are at the halfway mark here of lap 88, at least for our leader Cratrium. Cratrium looking to pick up their third win here in Season 47. 2 in week number 3 and 1 here in week 5. Penguin says, "Barney, become swifter. Go! Faster, faster. That marshmallow dude is right behind you." I like how Slow Motion Fire has gone for the mummy getup for his driver, too. Kind of giving it that Stay Puft character look behind the wheel. Across the line goes Cratrium, beginning of lap number 89. The penultimate lap next time by will be the white flag. Barney making it interesting here. I don't know if Barney maybe has a little bit of damage. Is that the reason why? Oh, wow. A lot of damage. Not a little damage. And that would be the reason why Barney cannot go swifter. Lots of, not so much to the powertrain, but here to the aero, suspension, and braking. And that is what's likely to let Slow Motion Fire get by here on the next lap. There goes Kuda93, who is off the lead lap, gets around Barney, and now here comes Slow Motion Fire, going to try to split the gap. Maybe. Slow Motion Fire behind a rolling roadblock here with LS Subaru, or excuse me, not LS Subaru, LS Barney going as fast as possible. There goes Slow Motion Fire to the inside. Barney gets a couple of wheels up into the air, and just like that here on the final lap, because even though this is lap number 89 for them, this will be the final lap once Cratrium has come across the line. Barnaby Winklebottom, what have you done? I like it. I'm gonna have to use that moving forward. Barnaby Winklebottom, LS Barney. Yeah, and see, there you go. That's Barney trying to push the truck as quickly as it can go with all the damage it has sustained. And now as they go into the hairpin here, makes contact with Slow Motion Fire, but Slow Motion Fire able to keep the front end of the F-150 Raptor race truck pointed in the correct direction. And just behind them, it's our race leader, Cratrium, picking up their third win here. Season 47 has come to a conclusion. The checker drops. And that is it, folks. The F-150 Raptor race truck is no more in the Forza Spec Racing Series. And LS Subaru has warned us that the next season may be just as interesting. Maybe just as interesting as the two that have come before it. The limousine last season, season 46, the F-150 Raptor race truck here. What does season 48 hold? Vehicle-wise. Yeah, Slow Motion Fire able to make that pass. Gets up to P3. Barney finishing in 4th. Followed by Audrex in 5th. Fear the Fun falling back to 6th and off the lead lap, I do believe. Behind Fear the Fun is Patches Riley, Kuda93, 7th and 8th. Then Modern Weapon and Colossal. All right, folks. Well, we only do this once in the finale season. But it's that time where I do the behind-the-scenes writing of the notes. We do a quick little break. I play some music for those of you who are followers of the channel and not subscribers. That's okay. I do appreciate your followership, your fanship, your fandom. I guess your patronage to the channel, I guess. All different ways to describe it. But I will run some ads, which does generate a little bit of revenue for the channel. And then, more importantly, it allows people who join us a little bit later on in the broadcast, perhaps they want to come in and listen to the driver spotlight interviews, allows them to avoid those pesky pre-rolls. And then, of course, like I said, in terms of revenue, any bit that comes to me after Twitch has taken their cut, I put back into the production of the broadcast to make the viewer experience that much better, as best as I could possibly make it. On the backside, like I said, we'll go into the driver's spotlight. We'll talk to our drivers here at the conclusion of not only race number 9, but of the entire season. We'll preview what's ahead here on the channel. And yeah, then that's how we'll wrap things up here on a Tuesday evening. I appreciate y'all being here, and if you can stick around, I'll appreciate it that much more. You're watching the conclusion here, the Forza Spec Racing Series, season number 47, live on Twitch TV. There we go. You guys got the emotes dancing around there on the intermission screen. Welcome back. Dustin Moore here, Xventure. We have reached the conclusion of Season 47, the Forza Spec Racing Series, with Craytrim winning race number 9 and finishing second overall on the leaderboard here in the season. Our champion, LS Subaru, for the 6th straight time. 6 straight seasons. It's insane. It really is. So my call to you all, and you're going to hear this over the next few weeks on this channel and over on my Twitter account, my call to you all is join the Forza Spec Racing Series, whether you think you can compete with LS Subaru or not. But those of you who think you can compete with LS Subaru, most certainly give it a shot. Head on over to reddit.com/r/FM4. All the details on Season 48 will be posted there. You'll see Season 47 information right now if you go out that direction. Just know that basically it's a copy and paste of that with a different car, different setup, and different set of tracks. 5 weeks, 9 races in total, all on Tuesdays starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, this is the part of the broadcast that I love just as much as the racing, if not more. I'm kidding. I love the racing equally. If it weren't for the racing, then there'd be no point for this. The driver spotlight interviews. And as I look in there, we've got LS Barney. LS Barney, you finished P4, and in that same breath, I say, man, that was a challenging race for you. Caught you a couple of times head first into the tire walls and such.
Yeah, it was definitely a pain to get around this track and these massive trucks,
Yeah.
especially trying to battle other drivers. You're going too wide through all the corners. It makes it a very tight track. And especially at the end when I had damage, I was trying to just limp the car home to and be slow, but with all that damage, I was just losing so much time on the straight. He was able to just glide right past me.
Yeah, we noticed that you were set for a P3 finish, but then as you were losing ground to slow motion fire, I suspected you had damage, and we took a look at that, and sure enough, you did to a few of the braking components around the vehicle, suspension also, and then aero, which may not have played as much of a factor, but definitely some of those mechanical components. The truck is now over and done with. As things go here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, they never repeat a vehicle, so I only assume maybe we're going to be a little bit planted, a little bit more hunkered down to the ground. Are you glad that the trucks are over with, or could you have done a couple more races with those?
Honestly, I loved the trucks. I'm not sure why. I just feel like the battling seemed a lot closer than other cars, but definitely the trucks were probably one of my top 10 favorite vehicles I've raced in.
Wow. Well, that's high praise. I do mention that the Forza Spec Racing Series really only introduces a vehicle, and then as soon as it's done, it's done. It's cataloged. It's put away, never to be raced again. But because you enjoy the vehicle, let's just say in Forza Motorsport, the next entry into the series, if they introduce different racing conditions that are maybe a little bit more appropriate for the truck, would you be an advocate to bring that one back?
I mean, if we're talking about dirt
Yeah.
racing, I feel like that would take away all of the fun of racing these trucks on
Oh
the
no.
asphalt. Because I mean, yeah, that's what they're built to do.
Yeah.
But I think the fun of it is trying to get these massive off-road vehicles around a racetrack on the asphalt.
Yeah.
So I think that would kind of take away some of the fun of it.
LS Subaru knew what he was doing when he picked that one to see how everybody would fare, and just as well as just as the racing was competitive in the limousine, the Cadillac XTS a season ago, the trucks proved quite to do quite well themselves. Of course, a lot of that kudos goes to the drivers. Were you surprised of how competitive it was here in season 47, or because of what we've seen in the past, no surprise to you?
Honestly, I was kind of surprised. I thought that the trucks would have made it a much more spread out throughout the field,
Hmm.
just because they're such hard vehicles to get a handle of. But I guess just having these trucks be so large and hard to pass, it kind of backs the whole pack up a bunch. So it just makes the racing a lot closer.
Got it. Talking with LS Subaru here at the end of season 47, finished P4. out at the Long Beach East route. This may come to you as a surprise, Barney, but there was some commentary in the chat that your car looked, your vehicle there with its livery looked delicious.
Um, Honestly, I don't know what to say. It wasn't meant to be food-like, but I can see how you can make it think it like it looks like candy.
Candy, and then I think there was even a remark that it resembled maybe an offshoot flavor of Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a Mountain Dew that's that color.
Does that inspire you? Because your livery was not, let's just say, I don't know, at the top of its game this season. Usually, you come pretty well equipped with a nice looking vehicle. This one you sponsored yourself, sponsored by me. I don't know. Will we get a little bit more effort out of Barney next season?
Yeah, hopefully. The reason I just didn't do much of a livery for this one was because it was supposed to be a fantasy liveries this season,
Yeah.
and I always struggle trying to find a company to choose those for. So I was like, you know what? It's my birthday right at the beginning of the season. I'll make it a me. I'll make me the sponsor. And then I accidentally made just the me car from Talladega Nights.
Uh huh.
So I put a cougar on the hood,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I went for,
Yeah.
except just different colors.
Yeah. No.
But yeah, the rainbow style that I had there, that was kind of a test. See if I do more liveries like it, and I might do more liveries next season like that.
Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. We'll see. The livery game is like is something that we look early on in the season to see who's done the best. And I don't know. Here for my 20th season broadcasting, I don't think we'll stray away from that. We're going to try to make that another focal point here. It's not only how good you race, but how good you look doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there may not be actual points on the line, but there are personality points.
Because you know what, you bring up a great point, because now Twitch has provided a little bit more versatility in the predictor. Maybe we do have to, there in week number 1, afford a vote that is who has the best design, and then I don't know, maybe there's some sort of prize that can be awarded. I don't know. So there you go. Now that an incentive from you to go away from your self-sponsored livery.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to talk to Slow about giving points out for the
No,
liveries.
not points.
But
Like not points toward the season, but points toward, like I said, some sort of prize that I could give away or something. I don't know.
okay. So it's something you would do, not Slow.
Yeah,
Okay, I
yeah.
got it.
Nah, we can't. We don't want to interfere with the greatness of the season point structure by awarding points just strictly on looks. So yeah, it's definitely out the window. But hey, LS Barty, always a great competitor here out on the track in F4. Always willing to jump into the driver's spotlight. Oftentimes the first one to do so. Suzuka in the Rain, season 46. Yes, no.
Oh, I'm hoping for it. Maybe if I guess it quick enough, then I'll go for it again.
You mean if you guess correctly? So LS Subaru doesn't like slide any hints under the table for you?
No, we don't cheat like that. As much as I want to on some of the pictures, I try not to cheat.
Got it. No,
Try.
that's good. That's good. No cheating. Cheating, like I said, there's one prerequisite of FM4, and that's that you race clean, and clean also means with integrity.
Of course. I mean, obviously it's not the cleanest, but clean is what we strive to be.
Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, fear the fun. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fear will jump in here eventually and bite my head off for that one. All right, Barney. Hey, you had Penguin here in the chat who was rooting you on. I think maybe there was one other in here. Slot, I think maybe was rooting you on. Any shout outs tonight here for the end of the season?
Definitely shout out to Penguin and definitely shout out to Subaru for winning the season.
Yep.
Congratulations to him.
Okay. That's it. A short list this time around.
Exactly. Got to keep it short and sweet.
How about your sponsor?
Oh yeah, of course. Shout out to me. I was a great sponsor for myself. Gave me a lot of money for this season.
There you go. Lots of money to himself. Very good. Barney, always great chatting with you. We look forward to seeing you in season 48.
Thank you.
All right. We turn it over to the next driver. We've got Colossal CC. Colossal, you made it all the way through, and that's the thing that I always harp on when I say, hey, join the FM4 series. Not only just join it, but then once you get out there on the racetrack, see your way all the way to the checkered flag. That's exactly what you did here tonight, even though you were a few laps down. How did the race go for you here out at Long Beach?
Yeah, I had a blast as always. I'm just there to have fun. I'm not there to win it, but it's what better could you do on a Wednesday morning before work?
Yeah, you and Subaru, how you guys do this this time of day for you, a day ahead across the date line is just it's fascinating for me. How many pit
I'm an
stops did you
afternoon
manage
shift
in this
worker.
one?
There was a couple of unexpected ones. I did
Oh,
manage to 100 myself around the corner about 3/4 of the way through the track, so I think it was 3.
okay.
Might have been 4, but
Well,
don't quote me on it.
that's not bad. That's not bad. In a race like this that is lengthier than what we have in the first 4 weeks of the season, do you make it a goal that, hey, I get it that I'm going to have to stop at least once for fuel, but if I could try to just stop once or maybe twice at most, is that something that you try to aim for, or is it strictly about position?
Well, there was a bit of a rough start. I mean, big
Yeah.
car in such a tight track, that's to be expected.
Yeah.
But I actually went quite a while after I got the hang of the handling. I went quite a while before my fuel and tires.
Oh, yeah.
The strategy was just try to keep it clean, stay out of everyone's way as usual, and once again, advocate for the slower races. Get on out there and have a go. It's fun.
Oh yeah, yeah. Even if you're not up to snuff with the likes of LS Subaru, well, you've got Colossal CC who's just looking for other competition out there on the track, and why not you? So join the FM4 series and be a part of the fun. You talked about just trying to be out of the way. You had a great demonstration of that about midpoint of the race. I think it was maybe Toyosama who was coming up on you in that third right-hander there at the Long Beach East Circuit, and you didn't just like hit the eject button and go flying off the track, but rather you just slowed down early on the entry into the corner, allowed Toya or whoever it was to go by, and then you continued on. Unfortunately, the very next corner you went head first all on your own, but that's the I think point taken that you don't have to just like dismiss yourself when you've got lead lap traffic coming. It's just thinking about it kind of strategically of how to take in corners when you've got some of those top drivers approaching.
Exactly right. There's a lot of communication through the Discord as
Yeah.
well. You just let them know your intentions, and it generally goes pretty smooth.
Yeah. I agree. You guys demonstrated that in full effect. Even though you weren't necessarily side by side with anybody for any one position, who on the track was like giving you the hardest time? Maybe if they were a back marker, or maybe you were there with some of your closest competitors for a little bit. Who did you, I guess, have a little bit of fun with out there today?
I'll give a shout out to Audrex because
Yeah.
it just seemed like he was always there.
Yeah. Audrex had a
Just,
tough drive initially, but then found his way.
I think just the size of the car with the tightness of the track, everybody's gonna. I don't think there was anybody that didn't have an issue at some point this race.
True.
But that adds to the excitement. That's what people want to see.
Okay. And speaking of people wanting to see the excitement out there on the track, we're really striving to get participation up there. Can we expect you, Colossal CC, here in season 48?
I'm gonna say it's a strong maybe.
Okay.
My work situation might be changing. I'm looking at a new roster, so I definitely want to,
Yeah.
but at this point it's a strong maybe. It'll
Okay.
probably be like an every second week or something like that. But yeah, I'd definitely love to keep racing. The boys are super welcoming, so thank you to everybody who just thanks for having me, I guess.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, great.
I want to say.
Right, absolutely, and that's a great point. Again, another great point of the FM4 series. A lot of flexibility. If you can race for some, but can't race for all, that's okay as well. As long as there's a spot on the grid, they're always happy to have you participate. I know you said thanks to the folks for having you here this season. Anybody else you want to say hello or thanks to?
Hi, Mum.
Mom, is Mom watching?
No, no.
Well,
No,
gosh
just
darn it, I tell everybody to tell their families to watch. So go get Mom and have her watch at least one broadcast. Yeah,
absolutely, man. No,
she's got better things to
thanks
do
to
in the middle of the day, right?
she'd be working. Not everybody does
Yeah.
Arvo shift over here.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Well, Colossal, hey,
But
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, thanks to everybody. Once again, can't say it enough.
Yeah.
If you've got Forza 7 and you've got the time, do it. The guys are great. They're super welcoming. Get into it.
Don't take it from me. Listen to everybody else say it. Yeah, that's the cliche. There is that you don't have to take my word for it. We've got other people who are willing to vouch. Colossal, great
Yep.
chatting with you. Do hope to see you there in season 48, even if it's not for the entire season. Hope to see you out there on a couple of times on the track, and best to you here over the next couple of weeks.
Absolutely. I'll do my best. I'll see you all next season.
Very good. Very good. All right. Next up into the driver's spotlight, we've got none other. Oh gosh, every time this always happens when Slow Motion Fire enters the queue. I don't know. At least as of late, I don't know if it's because you've got different permissions that make it unavailable for me to drag and drop you, and then I got to jump out of the Discord and jump back in. But we got you now. Slow Motion Fire, another series in the books. You finished P3. You actually had a really solid performance all throughout the season. You entered week number 5, 7th overall on the leaderboard, 205 points. I'm guessing maybe this finish here today will definitely help you move up maybe 1 or 2 notches. Am I reading it right, or are you pretty dissatisfied with the outcome here, season 47?
No, I am over the moon with this. This
Nice.
is my first podium, and I can't even tell you how long.
Good.
So I really liked this truck. I liked this build. This really fit my driving style, and it showed this season. I know some of the other guys struggled with it, but that's been me in some of the other cars. So it goes both ways in these spec builds. Sometimes you find one that just clicks with you.
Yeah. While it might have limited your chances, I'm guessing if Barney would have been able to maintain the condition of his vehicle and not have been so hampered by some of those mechanical problems, probably would have made it a lot more difficult for you to achieve that P3 position. But does that take away at all from the celebration that you've got going on here, or is it irrelevant? You passed Barney, and that's all there needs to be said.
I mean, that's all there is to it. No doubt he was quicker than me on a pure lap time basis, but it didn't help him when he kept finding the walls. So
Yeah.
I was able to run a pretty clean race there, other than one little incident with Kuda, but I ended up recovering from that, so I got no complaints.
The 4 of you had an awesome battle very early on. I mean, it was exciting stuff here to start the broadcast, and I thought, man, if this holds up all the way through the race, this is going to be a barn burner of one. This is going to be one to look back on and remember. But you, Toyo-sama, LS Barney, and I believe Fear the Fun, kind of in a 4-way battle there for really what was first until Kratium snuck his way up through the field. Do you kind of hope that those continue too for the sake of the excitement and entertainment and energy of the event, or are you ready for that to dissipate as quickly as possible?
Oh no, I enjoy running in those packs. That's a lot of fun when you can do wheel-to-wheel racing. And we had those throughout this entire race. You'd
Yeah.
kind of get stacked up with some lap traffic, and then suddenly, before you knew it, you were running in a pack of about 4 or 5 cars trying to cycle through, and that just kept it interesting through the whole race. That you'd suddenly find yourself catching somebody just because they got hung up a little bit.
Yeah. If I'm not wrong, I think you were able to avoid the big accident that would have rendered another pit stop, right? You just did the one stop?
Yes, yep. I was up front enough that I missed kind of those early incidents that I
Mhm.
think took out Patches and Kuda initially, and then that kind of mid race, I think Audrex got involved in something. I'm not entirely sure, but I ended up missing that one as well. So
Hmm.
it
Okay.
wasn't until the very end that I ended up. I think Kuda just caught the wall enough that it stopped him, and I was running right behind him. And there was nothing either of us could do. But that was a pretty quick recovery, and that was right when I needed to pit anyway, so it didn't cost me that much time.
Yeah, there were quite a few drivers who really were testing the limits of the track. And in this case, out at Long Beach, I'm not talking about the track limits, but legitimately the limits of running right up onto the barrier. And of course, as we know in Forza Motorsport, the kind of sticky glue physics that once you get on that thing, it's really hard to get off of there. And that definitely hurt a few people. I think we saw you maybe a couple of times grabbing the wall, particularly out of the hairpin. But all in all, a really clean race for Slow Motion Fire, who's joined us here in the driver's spotlight. You like the truck. Barney liked the truck. I asked Barney the question that would he be an advocate of bringing the truck back in the next Forza Motorsport title if there were different environments that were perhaps a little bit more accommodating for that vehicle. He thought that no, the racing, the surface racing on the asphalt, the concrete, and all that really is what made it entertaining. How about you? If we get into Forza Motorsport and there's a bunch of environments that go, hey, that truck would be really intriguing. Would you take out the rule, or at least cancel the rule that vehicles can't be re-raced or rerun in a season?
Oh no, we're sticking with that rule because they'll add however many more vehicles that you could potentially run.
That's fair.
So we'll just have to find a different truck in that scenario.
They'll bring that Volkswagen truck from Forza Horizon 5. They'll bring that into Motorsport, and then we can run that one in the dirt.
Or just another Raptor. I think there's like 4 or 5 variants
They'll
of
give
this
another
already
variation.
in the game.
It's true. It's true. Very cool. Colossal CC is advocating for Laguna Seca at night and in the wet, which will be an option in Forza Motorsport, the new title. They said that day and night transitions, or daytime transition, and weather is available at all tracks, so that is definitely a possibility there, Colossal. We'll have to see who is the first maybe to select that configuration. LS Subaru. Let's get to what has been the talking point at the end of each and every season here. Slow Motion Fire. LS Subaru does it again, wins the championship. That's 6 straight. And that's the most any one driver has won consecutively, and is quickly closing in on Cratrium's all-up record of, I believe it's 10 championships in total. We saw a glimmer of hope that maybe that would change here with Cratrium winning a couple of races in week 3. Do you think there's anything that can be done? Whether he pick a vehicle that is just not great for his driving style, or a combination of tracks that he just is not very good at, is there anything that can be done to end this win streak?
Oh, I think so. I mean, we saw just this season, Cratrium brought the fight pretty hard to him at quite a few races here. So Subaru is really pushing for that complete sweep, but it's proven to be a lot harder than he first thought it would be. I mean, we're 47 seasons in and nobody has been able to do it yet. So
that is the one feat that has eluded LS Subaru to date. What Slow Motion Fire is talking about. A single driver winning all 9 races in a single season, hasn't been able to accomplish it yet. Whether because his own doing, I know there was a season where ran out of fuel, just bad fuel management or planning, and then in the case of this season, losing a couple there to Cratrium, hasn't been able to do it yet. But LS Subaru telling us does plan to race.
We get the advantage of bringing that fight to him as well, because he gets to pick the car, but we all pick the tracks. So
you know the car for season 48. Do you think it at all is kind of a handicap to his driving style? Has he picked something that might not be conducive to his racing finesse, I guess?
I have never driven this particular vehicle in this game, so I cannot say to that. He picked a good one. This is one that I've never used, so I'm excited to give it a try here and see how it races.
What would you say is the likelihood that others are like you in that they haven't actually ever touched this vehicle in the Forza Motorsport roster?
I think there's a pretty good chance of it.
Huh. Okay. And then I don't know. Can I get you to even suggest one way or the other if you guys are going to be above B class or below B class? I don't think I've ever posed that question to you before.
As I told you earlier, I haven't even driven this particular vehicle yet, so I couldn't begin to tell you what class we're going to end up in.
You mean you haven't even gotten Fear the Fun to start plugging away at it?
Oh, you give us too much credit, Dustin. Fear doesn't know what it is. We haven't
Oh,
done the announcement yet.
Fear doesn't even know. You've
No.
got the secret because somebody would let it out if we entrusted them with that information, right?
Well, Fear's done the guess the car before.
Yeah. Okay.
We trust him to take pictures.
Are you guys doing that again this time around? Is it another guess the car situation?
Yep, traditional style. So those will go up tomorrow evening at 7 Central. The guess the car images will go up. And then anybody that plans on racing in next season, they can send me a personal message with what they think the car is, and anyone that guesses correctly gets to pick one of the tracks for next season. So,
Okay. Well, there you go. For those of you who are just kind of getting initiated here to the Forza Spec Racing Series, and they've done this most seasons. I think there were only a few exceptions, or one exception, when they decided to revoke that right from LS Subaru. It is back in play again this season. Just as Slow Motion Fire said, if you plan on participating, season 48, you guessed the car correctly from some obscure kind of like macro photography shots, then you get to select a track that we'll visit there in season 48. Could give you a leg up on the competition if you excel at one particular track. So there you go. Slow Motion Fire, well done on another series executed. I'm proud to say that next season will be my 20th commentating for you all. I'm not sure how I might try to celebrate that, but either way, whether it was my 20th season or just my second season, I'm excited for what's to come here.
Oh, I have too, Destin. I cannot wait. I appreciate everything you do putting these broadcasts together, and it really helps add a lot of fun to this series and just make the nights that much more entertaining. So thank you.
Makes my Tuesdays better, no doubt about that. So much fire. Any other kudos or shout outs tonight?
Oh, just same thing as always. Shout out to everybody that races with us. Shout out to everybody that tunes in and watches the broadcasts. And if you're at all interested, have no fear. Just jump in, race with us. If you're willing to race cleanly and respectfully, that's all we really ask. So come out here and join us and have fun on Tuesday.
There you go. And because nobody except for LS Subaru and Slow Motion Fire know what the vehicle is for season 48, you're definitely at no disadvantage at this point. Let them know that you're interested in participating, and as soon as that season 48 vehicle is revealed, be a part of the test and tune nights that happen during the off season. Even some kind of fun non-season related activities that they've got going on in the off season that could still help and benefit you in terms of reacclimating yourself to Forza Motorsport 7 if you haven't raced in some time. Slow Motion Fire, thanks for the opportunity to continue to broadcast this. And yeah, I think we both said it here. Excited for season 48. I'll see you then.
All right, we'll see you, Destin.
All right. Ghibli Giblets in the chat says, I also have a great time tuning in on Death's Trading Sundays. Oh, Death Stranding Sundays. You're talking about there, Ghibli. the autocorrector, something really threw that one for a loop, but or threw me for a loop, threw your words out of disarray or into disarray. But yeah, Death Stranding. We'll talk about that here in a second for anybody who's interested in what else is happening here on Xventure over the next couple of weeks. Now into the chat, entering the chat. Fear the Fun has showed up here on the driver spotlight. Man, Fear the Fun. What a crazy race for you. Not a bad finish by any stretch of the imagination. Coming out in, looks like 6th position behind Audrex. You started in first just because of that reverse grid ordering. But you were like back and forth from first to 5th to 6th to 2nd and 3rd and 4th. And like I said, finishing 6th overall.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I messed up. I think it was like lap 16.
Yeah.
And I hit a piece of wall that's not actually there on this track. And I bounced across and hit the other wall, and I took out the left front of my car, and, it was a good time. And then, I sat there, and I was like, I'm not going to let Barney pass for free.
Yeah.
So I didn't let him pass. And then we went into a wall. But, I mean.
And you don't feel bad about
free
that.
In this world. Oh, it's Barney. What's to feel mean about? He's 12. He's got to learn some life lessons.
For anybody who's watching and is interested in joining the Forza Spec Racing Series, just know that all the racing, for the most part, is pretty darn clean. Sometimes things here in the finales, when the championship's already decided, they can get a little rambunctious out there on the track. Of course, you got big old trucks out on Long Beach, so things were bound to happen. Fair the Fun, a serious question. Are you sure that wall doesn't exist, or is this another AMD graphics issue?
If that wall existed, somebody would have died on it by now. Because it's on a straightaway, and it juts out into the straightaway on the back straight, and it makes no sense, and they wouldn't have there for a real race, at least without tires, because it's just a straight concrete wall, and it makes no sense.
Well, that was really nice of you to like point out where the invisible wall was by showing everybody else.
Oh, it's not invisible. I'll show you right now. We can go back to the track. I'll park right at it.
I thought you said a wall that isn't there that is there.
No,
I don't know.
It's not there in real life.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. 10-4.
Like it's an oversight by how they designed
the authenticity is what ruined the race for you, is what you're saying. The lack thereof.
The lack thereof, the inauthenticity.
Very good. Talking with Fear the Fun, which is who's always a hoot to chat with here in the driver spotlight, also helps make sure things run smoothly here in the Forza Spec Racing Series, helping out Slow Motion Fire and oftentimes in tandem with Modern Weapon. What about you? The trucks, was this one of your favorite seasons, or not so much?
It could have been, not a truck, if that makes sense. It wasn't great, but it wasn't great because my tune wasn't great for most of the season. Until literally the end of or the second race of last week. And then once I got a little help from Slaps Vela, who didn't show up to help coach me tonight.
Oh.
He I made some adjustments over the week, try to get a little bit better, and it got a little bit better. And then when I got into the lobby today, I was like, I can't get it to turn, so I threw some more wild adjustments at it, and surprisingly they stuck really well. And I was doing good. I thought I could have held not first for long, but I could have held it for longer. And then I hit that wall. And then I was able to go. I challenged Barney for, I think it was like 4 or 5 laps.
Yep.
And then we just got kind of tangled up. Forza glued a little bit, and it just sent us into the outside wall on turn 2. Surprisingly, no damage from that, any more damage than I already had. And then it was the next lap around. I was just trying to lap around so I could get to a point where I could pit and not have to pit a second time.
Yeah.
And I was coming around the corner behind Kuda. Kuda snagged I think it was the outside or the inside of the corner and spun around in front of me. And he took out the right side of my truck. And I was like, I'm still going straight. So I just went straight and hit the pits on that lap. And surprisingly enough, it hit. It connected well. And I think I finished with like 10% fuel left.
Yeah, we did actually see that botched pit lane entry. Was that you? And you did have damage going into that, or was that the AI just badly taking over control?
That was me. I turned in a little bit early to make the right left. I made the left a little bit earlier than I should have made the right, So
yeah, little mistakes.
I don't think that even cost me that much because I think I ended up I had to not hit the gas for like a solid 15 seconds the next lap because I had to end my stream because my game was lagging really bad. So I ended my stream and came back and I still caught up to Slow and was catching Barney, and then I caught the inside on turn 1 and blew out the right front of my truck again with like 7 seconds to Barney, and then I did it the second time, and that's when Audrex caught me at the end of the race and put me into 6th. But I could have definitely had a 3rd place tonight. I botched it up.
Yep, certainly did. And you're really testing the work of that GPU now with the streaming and the gaming.
It's a good GPU. It's just it
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time. What's the over under in terms of number of races completed here in season 48? Tell me, have things been going good? I mean, obviously here for the last couple of races, I think it's held in there. So. Do you think it's in a good spot now?
It just depends on what tracks, honestly. It's like it's Road America, it's Watkins Glen, Daytona, sometimes
Didn't you say it might have been fixed though?
I heard it was fixed. I did not get a chance to test it at 60 frames.
Okay.
Because I got to do some like settings, like switching on my monitor itself. because if I put 60 frames on my 100 frames monitor, it gets a little jittery, which is annoying to my eyes, and I'm already blind as it is. So, but yeah, I'm gonna probably test them either tomorrow or sometime later on this week. We've
Okay.
got 2 weeks until we do like a fun time zone or whatever we call it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I couldn't remember the name either. I was stumbling over that. Whatever you guys do in the off season, and then you have the test and two night, and then week one begins.
yeah.
So there you go, folks. For anybody who's like, yeah, I want to get involved, but do we have to jump right into the racing? No, you can get involved. Once the vehicle is announced, they'll have test and tuning sessions, and even if tuning is not your thing, and you don't do very well at that, or you just don't understand it at all, there are plenty of drivers that are willing to help you out. You mentioned Slaps Vela, and this is the second week now that you've mentioned Slaps Vela. And if Slaps Vela is staying up to help you fear the fun,
he
then
didn't
Slaps
help.
Vela can sure as heck be out there and race with us.
He didn't help me today. I didn't have him because he was in my stream last week. But this week, my stream was a little bit laggy, and I never saw him pop in, or at least he never said anything when he did. So it was good. The tune he gave me last week was a really good bass tune for me to start off. I did some tweaking. I adjusted the gearing a little bit. I adjusted the camber, the spring rates, and everything, and I got it to turn a little bit better. I got it the rear end to stick a little bit better. So I was doing really good.
Okay. Yeah, Slaps Vela, the man of many triangles, usually doing kind of like the what is it when the manufacturers put those weird wraps on the cars, whatever it is.
The camouflage.
Yeah, the camouflage.
You know what I'm realizing too?
Huh?
I was channeling my Slaps Vela by using my driver tard with the triangles on it. And I switched away from that. And went to the Forza, the OG Forza Motorsport one.
Yeah.
And I'm doing terrible now. So I think I just need to go back to the triangle.
Yeah, there's something about the triangles, whether it's the Illuminati or whatever. Slaps is onto something.
You know what? I'll pay him his royalties for the triangles. They work.
Oh, I don't even think he owns the rights to it. So you're good. You're free and clear.
You know, I'll still pay him the unused rights for the royalties or whatever.
Yes, there you go. Fork over some bones for somebody who doesn't actually have the rights to something. There you go. That's good economics. You guys, I obviously asked the Slow Motion Fire the $100 million question now at this point of like what is it going to take to end LS Subaru, and I got to ask you. LS Subaru's win streak here, championship streak. And I got to ask you, as someone who helps like with the builds of these vehicles, is there a performance index that you think that you've kind of honed in on that you're like, this is probably not going to favor Subaru. Let's go that direction with it. Do you have that mentality, or do you just kind of play off whatever the vehicle is?
The one thing to get people closer to each other is to get slower, is what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Like, the slower the car, the closer the racing is.
Yeah.
So, like, your skill gap, it matters a lot to be in first. But if you hit a wall or if you go a little wide or whatnot, like, any little mess up in a slow car, it's not half a second. It's not 2/3 of a second. That's a second and a half, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, however. Like, the worse it is, like, the bigger the incident, the worse it affects you more than a fast car would.
Yeah. So what you're saying is we can expect an F-class performance index next season.
I don't know what the car is, so it could be an F-class, or it could be like one of the top of the A-class ones that you can do a little bit of engine swapping, maybe make it rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive or whatever it is, and then do some finagling, or I'll put an RB motor in it instead of the BMW aluminum motor in it to make it go down a little bit. I'll piss some people off if I have to make the racing a little bit closer, and to hopefully stop Subaru's reign of terror on this group, because we need a new championship winner. We need some new lifeblood in the cars we're choosing. I'm tired of the goofy cars. And granted, I love the goofy cars, but I want, like, give me a Ferrari, or give me like a Porsche or a Corvette. Like, it doesn't even have to be a good Corvette. Give me like the C4 Corvette that makes 190 horsepower. I don't care. Just give me something better than what we're doing right now, because I'm tired of the trucks. I'm tired of the limos. I don't want to do no more Subarus. We've already done 2 of those under them. Like, we've done, 2 front-wheel drive. We've done a truck. Give me something that's like, it's a car. Give me a car, all right?
That's why I wonder if Subaru is doing this on purpose to say, hey, you know, this vehicle is probably not great as a racing vehicle for a lot of people, and not great for him. So maybe he's thinking that it'll handicap him somehow, and then yet he still manages to come out with 7, 8 wins per season. It's ridiculous. Colossal CC in there in the chat with the hashtag Aussie dominance. Yeah, I still hold that he knows the future, and therefore he's using that to his advantage. So.
Oh yeah, you think they're in cahoots?
It could be. Colossal might be
Subaru?
a spotter in the future for Subaru, who's racing in the. It's just there's too many questions to be asked.
I'll see what it's doing. I'll make sure to relay that to the other mods. We'll get on top of this real quick.
Cut comms across the field. No more communications.
No more DMs. No more leaking.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what's helping Subaru win is communications.
Well, definitely.
Oh man. Okay. Well, we'll see. I know you know. Apparently, you don't know. You say you don't know. Soul Motion Fire says you don't know. So it will be fast.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Not a clue. They haven't told me. They don't tell the mods. The only person that knows is the person who gets to choose. Not gets to choose. Whoever's going to do the pictures. So everybody else can vote.
Yep.
I don't have a clue. Slow says he hasn't driven it. I don't know what Slow hasn't driven in this game. But if it's not an F-body Camaro or a Trans Am, I'm going to be tremendously depressed. All right. I'm going to be down in the dumps. It's not going to be okay.
Well, you just set yourself up for disappointment already, I think, because based off of the teaser he's given us, it's going to continue this trend of oddities of the FM7 roster.
It's going to be the sand rail. I'm going to hate my life.
Maybe the Gremlin. You guys raced the Gremlin?
Maybe way back, either the Gremlin or the Pinto.
Yeah. Okay. Colossal says, I'm with Fear. Muscle car would be. It's been a while since we had a muscle car. I think was the Tirana the last. No,
the Trans Am. We did the 77 Trans Am, I think.
That was a season in which I was relocating and I didn't get to commentate, so that's the reason why that one didn't come to my mind immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a good car. It was fun. We had a lot of fun in that. We need to have more cars like that.
Maybe,
a lot of horsepower.
You know what I'm starting to think is maybe now, because Down Under, with the end of summer coming around, maybe their transition out of winter and into spring, maybe that'll have some sort of effect on Subaru. What do you think? It's going to get a little warmer down south, down in the land down under.
I think he just likes to ruin our lives. I think that's what he likes to do. He looks at the car list and he's like, "What can I choose today to make everything worse?" And then he goes, "We did the Cadillac limo. Okay. Oh, we did the Ford Raptor. Okay. What can we do? There's 37 other Ford Raptors. He could choose another Ford Raptor."
I was trying to be optimistic that maybe the transition to the spring or summer months down there in Australia would have some sort of effect, but you're not having any part of that. You think it's still the vehicle.
I don't know what it is. I don't have a clue. I just don't want it to be terrible.
Well, hey, there you go. That's how we can end out the stream here tonight, is saying Slow Motion Fire is the only one who knows the vehicle. Even Fear the Fun doesn't know. And so that's the element of surprise and intrigue that I suppose we carry into Season 48. For those of you who are curious to participate, don't hold back. No reason to hold back. It doesn't matter your skill level. Get involved in FM4, and I promise you're going to have a good time. Fear the Fun, any last words, parting words here for the evening? It looks like you're the last one in the driver spotlight tonight.
I would love to have more people show up. 11 people, it's not a lot, but it's enough to have a good time. But there's always room for more people if you want to have a good time. You don't want to take everything too seriously. I mean, I ran into sorry, don't say that word.
You said box. I heard box.
I ran into Barney. And I had the greatest time of my life just running into Barney for like 5 laps, and then all the others.
Literally running into Barney.
I mean, I slid into him. I made sure, like, going down the straightaway, I was side drafting him to make him slow down so patches could go by. I did everything to make sure Barney was behind me, and I
Talk
almost
about
did.
side drafting in the F-150.
Hey, you can do it if you try hard enough.
Fair enough.
But yeah, if you guys are looking for something fun, something real, something that's different from the humdrum esports, that's what we are.
Yeah. Yeah. For every LS Subaru on the track, there are 5 other mid-pack racers. There's 2 or 3 other back-of-the-pack racers, all honing their craft and getting better with each and every race. And certainly, I think you too could do the same with a little bit of participation. And again, all of this leading up to the new Forza Motorsport title. And when FM4 transitions into that, well, then guess what? You've got yourself a rapport with the league, the series. And if things do start to get busy, that might give you first dibs on some of those grid spots, because you could say, hey, I've been here, I've been racing, and I want to race again next season. And perhaps if it has to go to that, then first come, first serve based on maybe a little bit of a preferential treatment to those who have been previous contenders. So something to think about as we get ready for season 48. Fear, always great chatting with you. Love to see you being able to stick it out there on the track, not have any technical difficulties, and I've got my fingers crossed that continues in season 48.
Yeah, same. Thanks for doing what you do, man. We highly appreciate it. We love coming back, watching our races, seeing what we're doing, seeing how I run into people, everybody getting to yell at me a little bit. It's always fun. If I could say one thing about Forza Motorsport 8, we've talked about it a little bit. I think we're going to try to transition as quickly to that game as soon as it comes out.
Okay.
But what we're going to do for the first couple of weeks is just do like fun racing, if that makes sense. Because we want to be able to build people's funds up at the same time while we're doing racing. But we don't want to make you like, if we don't know what car we're going to pick. But
you mean the Ferrari FXX won't be the first car of the season, or the 599XX?
Or if it is, at least, just let us build up a little bit of currency so we can do that and not like ruin other people's like their fun.
Their bank account,
Yeah, you get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, credits can be difficult to come by. Of course, that all depends on how Turn 10 Studios sets things up here in the next title. But as Fear the Fun is suggesting here, that transition, it sounds like it's going to happen quick, but understanding that, based on how the economy looks, some of the cars may be on the lower tier end of value, and help folks out. Another great reason to participate, because as you are racing in these events, these multiplayer events, not only are you racing for points in the series, but then Forza is going to spit some credits your way as well. So, all right, Fear the Fun. Now, legitimately, I got to say, have yourself a wonderful evening, and we'll see you in about 3 or 4 weeks' time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Always love chatting it up with the drivers here in the driver's spotlight, and sometimes it can go pretty long, but hey, you know what? As long as we're having fun, right? That's what it's all about here on Tuesday nights. What else you got going on, right? Even when football season starts here for us American football fans, there's nothing happening on Tuesdays, so come hang out with us 8 p.m. Eastern for 5 weeks of racing, 9 races in total, 2 races each week, with the only exception being week number 5, in which they've got the finale, the one mega race, if you will, the endurance event like we saw here tonight, 90 laps around the East Circuit of Long Beach. That does it for me as a preview of what I've got going on coming up here. The next broadcast will be Friday, at which point I am going to continue my my Forza Horizon 5 Hot Wheels expansion playthrough. So for those of you who might be interested in seeing that, come hang out with me on Friday starting at, it's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern, or somewhere thereabout. It might be a little bit earlier, but around 7 p.m., probably no later than 7 p.m., but could be earlier. I'm going to pick up where I left off, which was, I think I was finishing up like the Pro series and heading into the next. And then I will pick that back up again, as the screen suggests, on Tuesday, a week from tonight. We'll do Forza Horizon on Friday, Forza Horizon on Tuesday, and then I think by then I'll probably be done with that expansion, and we'll transition into something else. What that is is to be determined. Well, the only exception is August the 5th, which is a Friday. So not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. Definitely won't be Hot Wheels 5 because the Montana DLC for American Truck Simulator will be releasing. And check that out. Check out Montana. So ATS there on August the 5th. As a matter of fact, that should already be on the schedule. And if you're at any point curious as to what I have on tap here for the channel, you can always check that out at twitch.tv/xventure/schedule. Also, those aren't the only 3 broadcasts. Friday, next Tuesday, and the following Friday. But then also on Sunday, and Ghibli Giblets has mentioned it a couple times there in the chat, is that I've got the Death Stranding Director's Cut playthrough that I've been doing here. I'm on week number or day number 11 this coming Sunday, and I think we're getting dangerously close to figuring out what's going to happen here at the end of the story as I prepare to enter the Western region and try to recover or rescue the United Cities of America president. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that's okay. It's a very unique game, and I've had a heck of a lot of fun with it. So if you got time on Sunday, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, yes, that is a morning stream, 9 a.m. Eastern on Sunday, I'm going to continue my Death Stranding Director's Cut playthrough. I think I maybe have like 2 streams of that remaining, and then I'll go into another single-player game. It could be something like Batman. It could be God of War with the new God of War game coming out here in the fall. I might try to fire that one up. I don't know. It could be any number of things. I haven't yet decided what the next single-player game will be, but that's what I do on Sundays, single-player storyline Sunday. I don't know why I keep saying single-player. Most of the games I play in single-player mode. Storyline Sunday is what I have on tap on Sundays. Imagine that. It's in the name. It's right there in the name. All right, folks. Love the engagement there in the chat. Appreciate the participation from Penguin976 earlier, Slot, Colossal, Ghibli Giblets, DWM Frog. We had, Soul Motion Fire earlier in here to kind of kick things off and say hi to everybody. Who else did we have in here? We had, I swear there were more different people in here. I don't know. Maybe my chat is not loading all the messages. I think that's what's going on. Is we had so many chat messages, it's not loading them all. The follows to Slot and Penguin for the follows. Anybody else who is not yet a follower of the channel, that is the very most I ask of you. Lets me know as the broadcaster that you enjoyed your time here, and it allows you to more easily find the channel when I do go live, typically on Fridays, Sundays, and Tuesdays. That is absolutely gonna do it for me. I'm gonna go eat. I am hungry. I'm starving. Hope to see you on maybe on Friday or Sunday or next Tuesday, whatever the case may be. Be happy, be healthy, be kind to each other, one another. Until next time, take care. Adios. Goodbye.